So what's the theme song? What are we doing?
Wait, I don't know. Public access. The state of community media.
The state of community media.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
This just in. Community media is in a state.
Dun, 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 dun.
What's up, Peter?
Hey. This is how we do this. We do this twice a year.
This is how we do this.
Yeah.
What is this?
I'm bad at this.
I'm bad at this.
I'm bad at this. Welcome to our podcast. I'm bad at this.
Whoa! A show where Peter and I talk about the things that we perceive ourselves to be bad at, but we're actually maybe quite good at them. Self-help podcasts. Who wants them? Who needs them? We do. We make them. Here you are. I'm bad at this.
That was awesome. Maritza, how are you feeling right now? Obviously really good, but how are you feeling right now? What's going on? Feeling loopy? Why are you feeling loopy right now?
Well, I guess this is what we'll talk about.
This is what we're going to talk about.
I guess we're going to do it.
Yep, we're doing it.
So, there's this thing called the Alliance for Community Media. It's this big national membership organization, of all these community media centers. And we were at a conference this week.
For public access television stations and community media stations.
Yeah. So, Peter, how do you feel?
I feel overloaded at the moment. This is my first full conference for community media.
Oh.
And it was a lot.
Was it?
It was awesome. Well, so our podcast, I'm bad at this. Generally what we do is we do self-help. We talk about what's going on. Yeah, what's going on, helping yourself, helping ourselves, talking about stuff we think a lot about.
We think too much about.
Too much, yeah. So we do this twice a year, maybe once a year, because we don't live in the same place anymore. We do this at Cambridge Community Television, where we work together, and it's in a field called public access television. Public access refers to local television stations where community members can come in and learn how to use equipment and create TV shows, create podcasts, create whatever we're doing. Take out field equipment. It's kind of like a library for media, basically.
Yeah, media making.
Yeah. So it's usually free or very, very cheap. At CCTV, it's both.
Pay what you can.
Pay what you can.
Pay what you want.
I now work at a station in West Hollywood, and
what's the structure for membership?
$30 a year for
bad.
a member, for a single member. So it's very cool. And you get access to something that people, especially when it started, could not afford unless they were a corporation.
Definitely not, yeah.
So it's a really powerful tool, and a lot of the talks that we've been going to, they've been talking, about the activism that has sprung up through public access and all of the crazy wild art shows. There's a lot of experimental stuff going on that you just wouldn't see on corporate TV. So it's so cool.
Yeah, we got to watch some really awesome archival footage, which every time I go to these conferences, I talk to these people, and then suddenly I'm watching archival footage, and I'm like, wait, that's the person I was just talking to? Wait, are you a pioneer in this field? That is amazing. These are people who are rabble-rousers, who are real activists. They were going to these community meetings, these town halls, and they're bringing cameras in, and people are like, you can't have a camera in here, and they're like, yes I can, and I'm gonna, because the people deserve to know what the heck you're saying and deciding on their behalf. And and then they were capturing communities that hadn't been captured before. There's the whole voice of the voiceless, but those communities are not voiceless, right? And that translates even to today. The conference talked about, how we protect the vulnerable populations today, like immigrants, or people who don't feel safe with this current administration. So community media has really always been community building, a community activism space, but it's also a space for people to create and use their voice, or to just use their beautiful minds to play and make stuff. Like we say at CCTV, make art and be heard. Yeah.
No, it's an amazing thing, and I know that both Maritza and I don't want to speak for you, but
go ahead. Here's the mic.
It's so powerful, and a lot of people don't even know it exists. And then there's this existential question with public access that is, through this conference, you realize, through learning about the history, the more that I've been involved and the more that you've been involved, you just understand that at every point in time, this has been on the chopping block. It's financially so hard to sustain, hard to advocate for, but so vital, and definitely an unsung hero of democracy. Not not to prop up our thing, but especially
it's true.
Especially after this conference, just seeing like all these historical context, people who've been at this for the entirety of its existence, which really was just
majority of their lives.
Oh yeah,
it's to see the dedication of a lot of these folks. You know, I whenever I first entered public access, I didn't know what I was doing or what I wanted to be doing. Sometimes I still don't really know what I want to be when I grow up, right? But I can't really imagine myself in another space because it combines all of my passions here. There's community, there's art, there is just that, you know, that movement work that happens, the equity and justice work that is been a thing since the beginning, because these people have been fighting this whole time and they're still fighting. They're still like pushing public policy. They're still like, talk to your representatives, save, what's the act, Protect Community Television Act. These people really just been fighting like the majority of their lives. And I'm like, am I a lifer? Am I inspired by these people and inspired by the people that I work with and inspired by the communities that we serve? I don't know always what's next for me, and I can't really think too far out into the future, but I can't really imagine not fighting this fight. It seems vital to our communities. I mean, it doesn't seem, we know it's vital to our communities. Free speech is vital to a protected democracy, right? So like, yeah.
Totally.
That's where I'm at right now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot through this conference and stuff. You're at a bit of a trying to figure out what you want to work on next. You just finished school recently. Here's the self-help part. We're self-helping our industry. We want to talk about the struggles of public access television and talk about it, but also we want to help ourselves. Yeah. But Maritza, you just finished school, and I was thinking about some of the conversation we were having, and it's like you're like in the space of kind of like inhaling, taking in what's around you and trying to figure out where to go next, and whether you like get further and further into this or like look around and see what's out there is interesting. But it seems like you've taken a step towards, without getting too into it, it seems like you're taking a step towards like furthering your involvement in this community. So how do you feel on the other side of this conference, of this 72 hours
oh my gosh,
nonstop public access?
72 hours nonstop, just session after session, meeting new people, seeing my conference friends, and how do you feel? I don't know.
You haven't even had. I grabbed Maritza right after she gave a tour to 50 public access professionals.
Yes, it was questions. Really great having them. And at the end, some of our friends from Hawaii were like, this place has a heartbeat, and like it's very clear that you are very passionate about the work you do. And I'm like, I'm so glad that's so clear, because for me, it's not always so clear. You wake up and you do the day to day, but the conference really kind of reminds you like, oh, this is why we do the work. And it re-energizes. You can hear it in my voice how tired I am. I'm like, this is why we do the work. But it re-energizes, it reaffirms, my own personal why. I've always just wanted to help people, but I always kind of second guess myself. We talk about this all the time, and like, I've had all of the imposter syndrome. Who am I? I don't know. What do I want? To sleep. But, when it comes to this work, when it comes to how I feel right now, and the steps that I took, some opportunities you can't say no to. I've said no to a lot of opportunities. I've said no because there was a period in my life where I just said yes, and it was Shonda Rhimes book, The Year of Yes, and I love Shonda Rhimes, so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But a crucial part in that book is where she's also saying yes to herself, and I forgot to do that along the way. So when I was saying yes to certain things, I was also saying no to myself, and so I had to stop. And then the pandemic gave me a hard stop. And I started being very selective with the types of opportunities that would come my way. But then, things started reopening. I attended the first in-person conference since COVID, and that was in 2022 in Chicago. When I say since COVID, a bunch of us got COVID that year. It was the first time I ever had it. But wow, I don't know if I'm just really passionate about this work, or if I'm really heating up. I had a fever. But, you know, being on the other side 3 years later, and I'm attending this conference, and I'm talking to all these people who are like, so, you know, I think we have this opportunity for you. We think that you would be really good for this. And here I am second guessing myself again. I'm like, wait, who do I want to be in this moment? And what value do I really bring to this space? And I'm sure you know, I'm sure you've experienced that same thing, you know, when you're just questioning, even do I want to be doing this thing? Do I want this particular opportunity that's right in front of me? I don't know if I actually want this, but I feel like if I don't take this right now, it might not come back. And who knows what kind of, this might be a door that opens, and there is now a whole bunch more doors that are available. And also just the people that you get to meet and work with through these opportunities, they are some real salt of the earth. Like, they really care about what they do. They're the type of people that you want to learn from and learn with and have fun with. I mean, like, I was introducing you to like half of the conference, you know, at some point, and then I'm meeting new people, and I'm like, wait a second, what are we doing here? But yeah, I'm in the space now that's like, I think I'm gonna go home and really reflect on these last few days, and what does this next step mean for me?
No, totally. Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot, but it is cool to meet the individuals that are doing this across the country and are passionate about it. I think that was something I kind of was like, my work, they'll give me a conference, they'll pay for a conference a year, which I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm just kind of like, give me that money, let's go. And this conference was in Boston. I was like, oh, this is great. I'll get to hang out with Maritza. I'll get to see like some of my old like community media friends.
Yeah.
And just like
equals to besties.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just kind of like, I didn't really think through what it would be. And then when I got here, I got here the night before the conference, and I was like, why did I do this? It's just going to be a bunch of like checked out pencil pushers who are just talking about like why they shouldn't use like modern technology, like camcorders are good enough. And, you know, I was just like, oh yeah, no, DVD's fine. You know, I was like, oh, this is the stereotype about a lot of these places. I mean, first of all, I don't even know if a lot of people even know about these places, but if they do, the stereotype is that it's like old
some
tech,
guy in the dark,
smelly people. Yeah. They're just like, yeah, the BNC cable connects to the other. They're just speaking in a language that is irrelevant and not fun to be around. But that was not the case. There are people that, I mean, people
there
love the tech.
There are definitely those people, though.
Oh, totally. No, there's those people, but a lot of those people are also really
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
And there's so much passion behind this work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you went to like an insurance conference, I don't know the insurance community. I am sorry.
If you guys enjoy your conference, have fun.
There's probably a lot of
like
passion
ours.
there.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, not everybody gets to put their heart into their work in a way and to really believe in the mission of what they're doing. And it was like just to meet so many perspectives and to see. I've been setting up this station in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's been very granular of like, all right, so what are the systems we need to just be able to do the bare minimum?
Right.
It's like we need a scheduling system, we need a studio that works, we need field camera equipment that works, we need an editing suite. I need to basically know how to respond to these 40 questions. I'm just coming up with all the basics of that. And so that's what I've been focused on. I'm like, all right, we just need to get it okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll figure all that other shit.
The work is right here.
Exactly. And so to go there and see people who have advocated on a state level to get funding for a station, it took them 6 years. Yeah. And that was 35 years ago. Now they've been running the station for decades. And every 3 years, every 4 years, there's a new FCC that wants to cut the funding. So they have to. It's just they've been fighting and doing this and advocating, and it's just on such a global, it's on such a three-dimensional local level that is so beautiful and it's so inspiring. So it was like I've just been like thinking about technical stuff and just like just getting bogged down by it, but to see the heart that's in there from people that have only been working in it for a few months to people that have been
Right.
working in public access since the early 70s.
And it's such a welcoming
Incredible.
space too. All those
yeah.
people are just like, yeah, it's my first time here. And they're like, oh, welcome.
I know
Yeah.
people. Well, you could tell that the generation that's really fought for this is really excited. That it's funny we're the
Yeah.
next generation and we're like in our late 30s.
Yes.
It's like we're the young guns, but not
We
there's
are.
younger people than
Yeah,
us.
there
but
are.
but
There
we've
are.
stuck around. I mean, it's just like of people that
Yeah.
have been in it for a few years and are like, oh, this is the kind of work I want to do. It's
Yeah.
really interesting, and I think that older generation is really excited. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
clearly an energy with us, with our level of involvement and
And
stuff.
they want to pour into that next generation. You can feel it very like it's palpable. They really take you under their wings, and they're like, yeah, no, no pressure, but we believe in you.
But this is our life's work.
This is our life's work, and we want to hand this over. We want to be able to retire at some point.
Yeah, and know that it's
Yeah,
gonna.
but I don't think they really want to retire because even
No,
those
they
retired folks, a whole bunch of them I know are on boards of these places.
Well, you're working with a retired executive director on a show.
Yeah.
Like it's like they love their
Exactly.
work.
They love
you
the
know,
work.
it's like no, you can't take them away because it is so much of it's you see so much of yourself,
Yeah.
and you're so connected to the world. I mean, I think what people don't really understand about community media centers is you come in to take free classes and use the studio, but what you really stay for are the people and the connections and the connection to your community, which I would say completely transformed my life.
Yeah.
Like just when I first went into a public access station.
And when was that?
That was 2015. I
Wow.
went for an orientation because a place I worked at, the guy knew that I was making videos on my webcam. I was making very stupid, bad YouTube videos.
Webcam vid.
Yeah, but I just like loved it, and I was in a job I completely hated, but the guy who worked with me at the job was like, you should check out that place. Somerville Community Access Television. They have cameras. They have a studio. You could do so much with it, and I'm like, well, I don't have the money for that, and he was like, it's like I don't know, $60 a year. And then if you want to take a class on top of that, it's maybe another $50 or something.
That's
and I'm
wild.
like, oh, that I can do.
Yeah.
And then I went in there, and the feeling, it was like there was a feeling to it. It's like we often get. I know in my life I've had so many ideas, like, oh, I'm gonna get into woodworking, or I'm gonna play the banjo. All these things that I was.
Got ADHD.
I'm finding out actually a lot of people in public access,
Well, yeah.
creative people, weird.
We're
activists.
wildly neurodivergent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, but no, like those didn't stick the way.
Yeah.
Like it was like I was super passionate about them for a month and a half and stuff, but
Yeah.
there was some feeling to being in this kind of old firehouse that was renovated to be a public access studio like 20 years before, but it was stinky and the tile was messed up. But I met so many sweet people that I would have
Yeah.
never met, and I saw like posters for shows. This one guy that I think what really sold it to me is I went in for the orientation. I was looking at the bulletin board while I was waiting, and there was Walter Ness, this guy, and he had this poster, and it was like the laughter guy, and there were these pull tabs that were like with the website on it. So then I went home and I went to the website,
Oh my gosh.
and there were these laughter tutorial YouTube videos by Walter Ness, and he's just standing there. He's like,
the most amazing laughter I can show you is rib cage laughter. You take your fingers like this, place them against your lower ribs, and laugh. Ah.
I don't know where he's actually from Chicago, but his accent it was legendary. And I was just like, I don't know why that affected me so hard. I must have shown you this
It's
stuff.
amazing. No, I don't remember.
But Walter Ness I got to know through the first
Yeah.
few years of making a show at Somerville Media Center,
Yeah.
Somerville Community Access, but like there was and then I just met some of the nicest people, some of the
Yeah.
wildest people.
Yep.
But it was a safe space to just really work with people, make TV shows with your
Yeah.
with your friends, with people you don't know, and just be exposed to local culture. And then through that, you get to know the neighborhood. So I'd lived in
So
Somerville
true.
for a few years, and I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
the local neighborhood. But once I got involved in the station, I was meeting people who are passionate about these issues and started like filming rallies and events and learning about public benefit agreements and about like the Board of Aldermans, which is now the City Council, and like some of the issues that were going across their desk. I mean, it's such a conduit to being a person, and especially in this time of intense isolation. I think 2025, though, it seems weird to have a public access station because it's like, I think people, if they know of it, they think of it as an 80s, 90s thing.
Right. Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Yeah, a lot of people know it through Wayne's World. But I think it can be a tool for this current era of isolation. It could be an anti-isolation way to really get involved in your community. And I know it's been that for me. So I'm really passionate about it, and seeing other people across the country that are saying that. It's like, this is a scary and horrible time. I mean, in so many ways. So how do we combat that? How do we get our voices heard? How do we build a coalition, a community with people with good hearts and good intentions and good ideas? Public access television.
Here we are.
Community media.
That's what we do.
I don't know. How did you get it? Thanks for letting me read.
No, I love it. I love it so much because, and that's how we met. And
that is how we met.
Here we still are all these years later doing this thing. You know, I got into it, you know, a lot of people, they were talking about the language of the voice for the voiceless. And that really stuck with me at this conference because I remember, you know, well, first, even like way back working with like some young people, making some videos with them and just being like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Making these kids, you know, watching them ideate and storyboard and all of these things I'm learning as I'm like doing it with them. And then they won like a couple of like local library awards for their film fest, you know. And from there is how I started meeting, you know, my local place in Lowell. And I was a bit of a rabble-rouser. So around the same time that you're doing this in Somerville, 2015, 2016 for me, I'm out in the community speaking truth to power, Black Lives Matter, you know, that kind of stuff. And we were at a vigil that my best friend had organized. And I was there. I remember I don't even remember who was holding the camera. It might have been like somebody who I actually know now. But the camera was there and I'm there with my friend and we're just there talking about the issues. And from that place, you know, the Wendy, who produces my history show, she invited me to do a panel on Black Lives Matter and policing. And I'll tell the story until I'm blue in the face because it's, like I said, I found my voice. You know, I wasn't voiceless, but I didn't know the power of my voice at the time. I was starting to discover that my voice had power. And community media and Wendy, she saw me, she started building that relationship and she was like, oh, this girl has stuff to say. I want to give her a platform. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds crazy. Don't let me talk.
And she was like, no.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
what? Me?
Yeah.
She's like, yes, you know what to say. And I remember asking her, how am I supposed to do this? And she's like, no, we're just going to talk about it. Just say how you feel. And, you know, so we did a panel. And then after that, she invited me to do one-off history show with my professor from UMass Lowell. Shout out to my TV dad, Bob. And, you know, we've been doing that for 8 years now. And that's crazy to me. And history in Lowell really kind of became like a conduit for, you know, telling stories that hadn't been told. So that voice for the voiceless, they're not voiceless. They're there. Like I was there. I just didn't have a platform, or I didn't have the community support or whatever it was. And then you get that community support, you feel empowered and you feel like you can say the truth. And our show really highlights the plights of people who are historically marginalized in history, particularly in Lowell. And a lot of those groups are immigrant groups, and like the things that were happening to, you know, like the Irish and the Greeks and the French Canadians back then are happening to communities today. And we're talking about, you know, fugitive slave catchers coming up to Lowell and how no person was ever taken. But now we've got ICE raids happening all over. So I'm seeing these parallels, but it's only because of the work that I've been doing in community media. I got into history because of the work that I was doing in community media. And then I started working at a community media place. And here we are today having this conversation. So there's just power behind it. It does give you I mean, and that's also why we have the other extreme, right? People who are in like big media and they're like just spewing lies. There's a certain responsibility that comes, like with great power comes great responsibility, Peter.
Why don't you just make that up?
Layers.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, sorry. But not really. I'm not sorry about it at all. It was just perfect. It just worked out. But, you know, it's so real. It's so true. And I think community really taught me that. Like, and there's power in what we do. And there's power in how we empower people to do what they come here to do, whether it's to dance in the live studio or to speak truth to power or to to empower, bolster their voice that already exists and they are not voiceless, but to provide them with a platform, the tools and training to create media and, you know, foster free speech and civic engagement and creative expression, all those things that are a part of the CCTV mission.
Amazing.
No,
it's true. It's not that they're voiceless, but like, yeah, there's like a compound growth that happens when somebody takes a risk and is somebody, you got encouraged and you took a risk and then you felt, oh, maybe there is something to this. A lot of people don't know that they can do something. And this is like a really good wedge to getting you to understand that more and more and more. And so whether it means that you produce a TV show for 10 years, or it means you produce a TV show for 3 months, but then you realize that there's an issue you're passionate about in the community that you're then working on, or you make a connection with somebody who you then do life-changing work together, or have an incredible friendship, or all of the above. It's just, it's a conduit in, you know, at a time in 2025, I've been thinking about why public access in 2025.
Yeah.
Why is this important? And in public access, like, I know the television part is less and less relevant because less people watch broadcast television. We're not stupid.
Yeah, we know about those cable subscription numbers.
But I think, you know, it is great that you can make a really effective TikTok channel alone on your phone. But man, is there a feeling to working with, 5 to 20 other people to make something special in a studio, or to, you know, it's like plugging in more people in a beautiful way with no money. There's just a authenticity about that is really special and really non-corporate. And I do find that because TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all those places incentivize kind of corporate styles of presentation.
Yeah,
the algorithm eats that up.
The de-authenticizing. Yeah, sorry.
You're right.
If that's a
they
word.
incentivize de-authentizing. I like it. I do like it.
Like, is that a real word? I don't know.
I'm following you guys. You following? but it can really encourage the presentation style to be selling stuff, or it's like there's just something about public access that is awkward. And it is weird, and it is human, and it is magical, and it's beautiful, and it's slow, and but it's also fast. It can be anything. It's the brave unknown of just what people can do. And I think there's not a lot of spaces in America now where you can really have that.
Yeah,
you know, or you're encouraged to be like that. You can set up one shot and talk at it for 40 minutes about whatever the hell you want, and it can be excruciating. It can be incredible. I feel like in corporate media, they kind of tamp down a lot of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then again, because YouTube, Instagram, you know, all of these things are corporate-based media, and though they're platforms, anybody can put them up. They shadow ban certain stuff and they promote certain stuff. It's obviously going to be in the interest of big money. Mm-hmm. So the fact that stuff like this exists, it feels like a miracle in like the most corporatized time anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, that we're still pumping, that we're still doing this thing, and that people still find value, and that we have people coming through the door of all ages. Seriously, it's
intergenerational.
That is so beautiful to me. Like, people who have all different types of skills, they're not afraid to want to get in and learn and ask questions. Like,
oh my gosh,
like what you were, to your point, like coming in raw and vulnerable, and even with some shame, like, oh, maybe I should know this thing, and I'm like, it's fine, I don't know anything about this, but like, you can come in however you exist. And like, I think I'll say this, and I know we got to wrap up soon, but
I want to keep going a little longer.
yeah, we can do a longer episode.
We'll see.
Exactly. I was thinking about this one lady. I wish I could remember her name at the conference, but she was in that one of the archival footage that they were showing that they had been working on, which was so incredible.
Amazing.
Just the way that those things, like taking VHS footage up until today and the way they chopped it up, it's just oh my gosh, it blew my mind. Just even the art of it.
That's the other CCTV, right? Vermont.
Vermont.
They're doing
first
this big
CCTV,
documentary
yeah.
about like their archival past and their activist past and,
yeah.
and how it exists. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
And it was just the rough cut, but it was like,
yeah,
whoa.
And it was like Miles, I think, is the guy who was working on it.
Yeah.
Like just amazing.
A lot of old Bernie Sanders clips.
Oh
like,
my
because he would
gosh.
go on public access all the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like him in the mid '80s, just saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. And I think in the film they said, or maybe it was in the talkback, but they said it's a difference between, an activist and an influencer. And I think that's where we're in the time right now. People are coming back here because they understand that this is where you can be an activist again. Like, you can be an influencing activist if you want on TikTok or whatever, but like, we know that you're doing it for likes and views. Like, on some level,
yeah, there's a part of it. Even if
yeah.
you do believe in the thing, you have to make a living. You have to get that ad revenue.
Yeah, but
and,
if you
and
really
be
want
targeted, of course, by people who think you're relevant to their product.
Yeah,
so
and then I've seen so many of those people sell out. Like, they sell out after a certain
I probably
time.
Would.
If
somebody kept telling me, hey, here's $10,000. Can you just in the middle of your thing do that?
Yeah,
it would be hard to say no to,
quick.
Right?
And this was brought to you today by
no, I mean, I don't know if I would, but it's like I can maybe I would. You don't know. Until
you're presented with those.
So
options.
People start with a great mission, and you see this. I'm sorry, I'm
go in.
People start with a great mission, but this world can beat you down, and eventually just be like, give me the money, like fine, and then all of a sudden you're compromising your mission and stuff. So
you're putting your mask on to sell activism or to sell like whatever product they want.
Your brand is an activist. It's not that you're an activist anymore.
It's your brand.
It's about your brand.
Exactly.
And I feel like public access, everyone's brands are sloppy. If you can even call them a brand, it's
no,
messy.
We're brandless. There's no brand here.
And it's not like we're a literal mess. It's not like my brand is like a hot mess. It's just real humanity is promoted. Yeah, we're humans. My brand is real humanity.
And I'm so bad at this.
I know. I guess nobody's completely impenetrable by like branding or whatever.
But we're not selling anything. We're not. All we're trying to sell, I think, is the idea that public access is still relevant today, and it's still a powerful tool that people can use.
What a corrupt message that is. Oh yeah, Marissa's getting big public access money. But it's
big public access money. Franchise fees galore.
Yeah, there's like
call me Comcast.
Comcast hates us. But no, it's like basically like we've always said this for years. I feel like you and I are always like, why aren't people knocking the door down? Because this is so cool. If you have any interest in media and your community, or any combination of that, this is it completely changed both of our lives.
So much. And it continues to do that.
No,
it's like, let me go. Trust my arm.
It's not a path to riches exactly,
No.
but it is a beautiful way to be involved, and we're lucky to be able to survive, to afford our lives while doing this work.
Yeah.
And so take advantage of people like us. Come in, go to your local media station. Yeah. Find out if you have one. A lot of you do, and you don't know about it.
Yeah.
Just go in there and say, what the heck is this place? And somebody will probably, they'll either be a little weird, because a lot of us are a little weird, or they'll be way too friendly. So just accept either side of that. Actually, it'll oscillate. The chemicals go.
Yep.
But
weird and friendly. No.
all of us just want people to come in and make really incredible, personal, amazing, powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody brought something up that I thought was so beautiful in one of the Q&As, where they were like, public access is such a wonderful place to make mistakes.
Ooh,
This is a time where it's hard to make mistakes. We're so afraid of getting in trouble, which, you know, you gotta get in trouble growing up and figure stuff out.
How else do you learn?
How do you learn?
Grow?
I can't tell you how many mistakes I've made in a public access environment.
I wouldn't know.
But no, I mean, like technical mistakes, like social mistakes, like figuring stuff out. But like I always wanted to make films. I always wanted to do videos. I always wanted to make comedy. I always wanted to do personal, important work. I wanted to make documentaries. I wanted to do all this stuff. But I was so afraid of being horrible and that I would get shamed. So I couldn't really figure out.
We do that thing.
Yeah.
We get in our head.
Like, oh, well, you know, it's got to be perfect. Maybe it's not. You know, it's like you live in the potential, but the reality of it's too scary.
Ooh,
but public access, for me, I came in and I said, I'm going to make a bad talk show. Like, because I thought that was funny. I was really into very, like, lo-fi, absurdist comedy. So I was like...
You? Nah.
But I was like, I'm going to make a horrible show, and that's going to be funny. But secretly, I think what I secretly wanted was, like, I just want to do this.
Yeah.
And everybody was so supportive.
Oh.
Spent a lot of time like helping me learn things, and it just was like, what a sweet. And I made so many mistakes, and I was recording when I thought I wasn't recording, and it would be like an interview with like a city council member. This wasn't for my bad talk show, but like, you know, the memory card breaks halfway through an important question.
Or you forget it. You have to go to a site and you forget your mics.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
SD cards. Yeah.
Oh, you break a piece of equipment and you go back to the person like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, it's okay. We'll figure it out. It is a sympathetic place to learn how to do stuff at a time where you seem to be told not that you can't make mistakes. And you want to be perfect out of the gate. And you're not.
You're not.
I mean, you are perfect, but you're going to make mistakes. Marissa.
You're not perfect.
But it's a beautiful, authentic space to learn, and it's just so sweet.
Yeah, I do. I do love it. Do you? Okay, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Do you? Because I know you left here and you were doing some other stuff. You're freelance and doing your production stuff, and you're, in my mind, you're big time. Like, he's big time. He's really, like, honestly, super professional, excellent work. And I won't keep doing that because we're bad at words of affirmation.
I'm trying to take it because the camera's pointed at me.
We're also bad at compliments.
Thank you so much, Marissa. That's very
But
kind.
I mean it, you know, and what you were describing of that, you know, being able to make mistakes and this group of people being really supportive and teaching you guys have, this team here, you guys have all done that for me, which is why I feel even confident enough to start messing with the tech, unless you're here and then I'm like, I'm just going to let Peter do all of this stuff. Because I know it's going to be way better if you do it and not in an exploitive way.
Oh, no, I want to.
But, like, did you think that you would come back to it the way that you have?
I thought I was done.
Yeah.
I thought that I'd done everything I wanted to at CCTV and needed a new adventure. Yeah. And this opportunity arose. I was there. I was doing freelance stuff, doing some Hollywood gigs, doing some corporate
Hollywood.
gigs. I mean, not that Hollywood, but like, you know. Well, actually.
Yeah, you were on a red carpet. You should see him in his like penguin suit. Yeah.
But no, the actually Josh sent me over the listing for this West Hollywood station, and they'd been looking for a long time, and so I was like, all right, I guess I should apply, because they're just, Hollywood doesn't have a lot of work right now. And it ended up working out, and I got the job. And I was so nervous about taking it. And be like, is this not a new thing? Am I like? I think I thought I had done everything I could, but after a year and a half of not doing it, and then really understanding what that station felt like, and I mean, it's a new thing because it's a small station that I'm
building.
I'm autonomously kind of running within a city, so it's all new, but the spirit, I want to be the same, and so I've never built that up. So I'm so excited. I think we can have like a pirate TV station in a wild time, and make you know, there's just so many talented, insane people in Hollywood, in West Hollywood. It's such a beautifully creative and wild community. So and people like know so much. So it's like the potential here is so exciting. So I'm really excited, and I'm horrified. We're gonna, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I don't know what other work I would be so impassioned to do right now.
And I can relate.
Yeah.
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 I mean, and it's still a new adventure.
It is a new adventure.
Because it's not exactly the same, but you're going to do similar things that you've done here, but you're building it and you get to do your vision of this, and you're great with like community and member engagement. Like you're building something that you could say has never been done before, kind of, in some ways, depending on what you decide to do. But
I'm going to do my best. I'm excited, and thank you, Maritza. That really means a lot, and I'm going to be hitting you up a lot for feedback on ideas.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then I'm
Connect
going to
me
steal
in.
those ideas and do them
Steal
here.
it? Well, I stole Studio Lab again. We now have community studio night.
I love it.
It's
Well,
like,
I stole your get your project off the ground. We
Oh,
call it
hell
Creative
yeah.
Salon.
that's what I'm talking about. Let's steal everything. This is
Yeah.
awesome. But no, it's just it's a beautiful thing, and I feel so lucky to have like great friends who I
Yeah.
can always talk to about it.
So crazy, right?
And I know you're like trying to figure out what's next for you, but you're so excellent at this kind of work.
Oh, thank you.
And I think I saw a bit of a shift in the conference in a good way, where it's like,
Yeah.
I think she's still in.
Yeah,
I think she's still in. I think she's on a new adventure in here. I got a feeling
kind
here.
of a 180 actually.
Yeah, we were the first night. Yeah, we were just like getting it all out, and
It
then
was like, let me tell you about my depression.
it's a depressing time, and a lot's going
is.
on. But this has been, it's just like finding the magic again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just I think for both of us, a lot of really exciting stuff is coming up.
I think so.
And for all of you should get involved in whatever your local station is, or find it out, or email either of us, and we can research for
Email
you.
him. No, you can email us.
I'm not putting either of
Ask
our
us
emails up.
questions. Yeah.
But I don't know. But just get in touch. Look out
Yeah.
for it. Really is these are life-changing organizations. If
Yeah.
you really feel powerless right now and hopeless and not connected to your community, this is a great way. And you don't have to make your own shows. You can help on other people's shows.
Yeah.
You can just talk to the front desk. We need people power.
We need
to
people
make this as amazing as it can be. And if you need community, this is a great way.
This is where you
in.
gotta come.
This is the way in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if you want to support, you can donate to stations. You can, donate things, time, money. People always are looking for ways to get involved. But genuinely, go into your community place, your community media center. You're going to find somebody who loves what they do, who really cares about this work, and who's so willing to help you. Do not take advantage of that person, but definitely
Be kind of that person.
be kind.
but
go there.
But take advantage of this.
Yeah,
This unbelievable.
take advantage of the resource.
In a time where everyone's trying to scam you.
Yeah.
The fact that there's this kind of resource, go for it.
Go
It's
for it.
amazing. It's
Do the
life changing.
thing.
Our lives are changed.
Yeah. Speak truth to power or be ridiculous.
You hearing this? Well, anyways.
Change your life.
Change your life. Yeah. Because we're bad at this. And I'm bad at this, but we're bad at this.
We're bad at this.
And
And that's Peter.
that's me. And who's that?
Maritza.
That's Maritza. Agreed. All right. We did it.
Hell yeah.
Boom. We do
Bam,
these
bam,
twice a
bam.
year. This is one of them.
Yes.
Yay.